In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 6 things that I have learned in the first 6 weeks of 2023. 2023 has already been quite a funny year for me. It's been a really hectic start to any year that I've ever had before, and so I thought I would reflect on some things that I have learned in the past 6 weeks that have made me want to pivot the way I run my business. So first of all, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kim. I help therapists in private practice get online, get confident with admin and reduce tech overwhelm. Now, I have worked with therapists for the past 7 years, but I have run my virtually irreplaceable business since the middle of 2020. So that is when I really started thinking about working with more therapists on a bigger scale than just doing VA services one-to-one. In 2020, I hired my first team member and started creating a VA agency, and it was always my dream to really help women like myself, mums, to work and earn a good living around the school run so that they could be there for their kids and also have a career. So I started the journey of creating a VA agency, and for those of you who don't know what that is, basically it means that I hire people to work for me, I get the clients, and then other people do the day-to-day work with those clients. But I had a real knock at the end of last year and also at the beginning of this year where 2 team members left, and that left me with multiple clients that didn't have a VA anymore, and I had to make changes and restructure the business so that we could still help them. So what I want to talk about today are the 6 things I have learned from those experiences, the 6 things that I've learned in the past 6 weeks, and also how you can use them for private practice too. So the first one is that no one cares about your business the way that you do. I have an amazing team of people that work for me, but ultimately it is my responsibility. They are my clients, and I am responsible for everything that happens in the business. If I have somebody leave the agency, however many clients they're working for falls on me, and it means that I have to look after those clients and make sure that the service they are used to, they are still getting. For me personally, I would never just let clients down. I would never just walk out of a job, and I assumed that everybody is the same, but people are not. And when it's not their business, for some people it is just a job to them. So how does this relate to you in private practice? Well, it can relate to you if you do have team members. So if you have an accountant or a virtual assistant. I work with a lot of therapists in private practice who have accountants, and they have been through many accountants for one reason or another. Now, obviously I own a VA agency and we do work for lots of clients, and we do really care about their practices and their clients as well, but not everybody is like that. And I think that when you do hire a VA, it's important to make sure that you understand how to run your business without them. So if they ever did leave, you would be able to pick it up and hand it over to somebody new and train them without worrying that that VA knows everything about how to run your practice from an administrative point of view and you don't know. So my tip for you is to make sure before you hire that you have all of your systems and processes in place so that you can hire effectively, and if that person leaves, you're not in a position where you don't know how to invoice your clients, you don't know how to send clients reminders and things like that. I do have a video all about why you should get systems in place, so I will link it up here and in the description below. The second thing I've learned this year is having the right type of clients is crucial. I have been reading the One-Page Marketing Plan by Alan Dibb, and there's loads of things I can talk about within that book, but he talks about having 4 different types of clients or customers. And what I've realized is you can really get sucked into working with types of clients that really zap your energy, they take up a lot of your time, and then the clients you really want to work with and do your best work with suffer. So what I've realized is it's really important to have the right type of clients within your business, and this is the same with any business. So for you in private practice, it's about making sure you're working with the right type of clients who you do your best work with. Every single time I have taken on a client outside of my niche, which is therapists in private practice, I've always had problems Always, always, always. I can set up a Google Workspace system, or I've done some Dubsado setups as well, because I use Dubsado within my business, and they always have problems. And so I've realized that saying yes because you want to help somebody out is ultimately not going to be best for me in my business and them as well. So it's about making sure that you have a great referral network. So if you get those clients coming to you as an inquiry, you know exactly where to send them, and also making sure that everybody in your referral network knows who they can send you, so everybody can get the best clients for their practice. The third lesson I've learned is that I am not Superwoman. Who knew? So I have always had this type of personality that I can do it best myself. I can get through anything myself. I don't need help. I can work it all out by myself. And past 6 weeks, I've realized that that is really not true. I have really leaned on my team a lot this year, more than I ever have before. And although I want to look like a strong leader and I want to make sure that they know that they can come to me with their issues, I do think it's also really important for them to know that I am also human and that I also need help occasionally, and that that's okay. I have leaned on many people in the past 6 weeks, the team, my husband, a couple of my clients who I've worked with for a really long time, to throw about new ideas that I have for the business, family when it comes to helping me look after my children if I need to do some extra work in the short term. And it might feel like I'm preaching to the choir here about self-care and the things that you will probably tell your own clients in your practice, but I also think it's important for you to take that on board as well. And when you are running your own business, especially if you are working alone and don't have any help, it can be really overwhelming to get everything done to a high standard. Make sure that you're giving the best to your clients, making sure that you're getting all your admin done, making sure that your expenses are looked at, making sure that you are also looking after your house and your kids or your parents or whoever it is that you have to look after outside of work as well. So remembering that you're not Superwoman or Superman, and making sure that you take time for yourself is really important. The fourth thing I've learned so far this year is that great ideas come when you give them space. I spend a lot of the time trying to think of things all the time to fix things. I am a fixer in general, so I feel like I need to really focus on them to fix the problem. And what I have realized in the past 6 weeks is actually I need to take a break and a step back from my problems and see what comes from stepping away. So I've been journaling again, because that was something that I gave up once I was really burnt out, and I've realized that actually that is so important for me and I get so much out of that. I've been reading books that have opened my mind to new possibilities. I have stepped away from working with my current clients so that I can give myself some space to focus on my own business, and whilst I worked with the clients that were left in limbo because they didn't have a virtual assistant and what I was going to do about that. I've also taken evenings off and weekends, and all of that space has really given me some great ideas about how to move this business forward and what direction I want to go in. I think when we are in a time of crisis, you feel like you need to put more in all the time, more energy, more focus, and actually stepping back and giving yourself some space can really help you work out the problem and fix it. The fifth thing that I have learned this year is having written processes and procedures in place is so necessary. If I hadn't had that in place for the clients who had the VAs that left, it would have been really hard for me and the rest of the team to step in and take over running that account. And this does go back to point one about no one caring about your business as much as you do. So making sure that anything that is repetitive in your business, you start to write down those processes and procedures. And this is crucial for so many reasons, but for me personally, it's been so important to have that so that I can get the team to step in and work with some of these clients so that I didn't have to do everything myself. And that's why I suggest, for example, for you in private practice, having a master client list with a list of all of your clients and their information, so that if you were sick and couldn't work for a long period of time, you would have shared that with somebody like a supervisor or in your clinical will, so that they could contact the clients for you and be able to let them know that you wouldn't be able to see them, and also what your instructions were for each of your clients, if there was someone that you were going to refer them to in the short term, or whether they were just going to take a break until you were back. And my final lesson learned this year is that you need to take a break. I only had a couple of days off this month because of half term, but I did not think about work. I muted all of my notifications. I put out of offices on all of the accounts that I'm working on. I didn't contact any of the team because they were also taking a break, and I really wanted them to be able to enjoy their time off. I am definitely a recovering people pleaser, so although I turned my WhatsApp notifications off, for example, I did obviously use WhatsApp to contact my husband and my family and things like that. So I did see that clients had messaged me, but they knew that I was off, and it was about me holding that boundary of having time off and realizing that it was really important for me to not give space to let ideas come to me. That was another lesson I learned, and definitely something I implemented. But with this one, it was just to purely take a break from work, because I can definitely let my business take over my life 100%. And what I really wanted to do is just play with my kids. I wanted to take them to the zoo, I wanted to declutter their bedrooms, and I didn't want to be distracted with thoughts about my business. The reason I started this business was so that I could have work-life balance, so that I could be there for my kids during their school holidays, pick them up from school. And this year had really taken me away from my value of family, and so I wanted to put that back in place. So for you, I do have a video about taking a break in private practice, and I've got some real tangible things that you can do to be able to take a full break in private practice and not worry about your clients whilst you're off. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'd really love to know how your 2023 is going so far and what lessons you've learned. So let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching.